Billy here with Gilbert Travels, here at Seatac Airport for the first in my series for 2020 of the Transcon Showdown. I arrived to Seatac Airport plenty early and things were quite empty. Delta has a strong presence here at Seattle-Tacoma, making them an ideal first flight in my search for the best transcontinental in-flight service available in 2020. Granted, it's not even 6 a.m. yet, but it's still pretty quiet here in the airport, so it's my first flight since May when I flew out here to get settled for our move. Excited to get back up in the air. We're gonna head over now to the Sky Club and try and get some breakfast. Delta has a very nice Sky Club at SEA, accessible to both its domestic and international itineraries for eligible flyers. I got in today as an Amex Platinum card holder. However, those flying on domestic Delta One service would be allowed access as well. This is truly a massive lounge with an entire second level which was closed off. I liked the wide variety of seating types, and the lounge was very modern with great views. So with international travel closed down for the foreseeable future, decided to take some flights here and figure out what the best service is available in the United States given the current circumstance. Today we're going to be trying out Delta Airlines on a flight on their A330. That's one of the side effects of COVID, is they have a lot of wide body planes sitting around here in the States. So I'm going to be in their Delta One style seat for a domestic first class flight across the country down to Atlanta, about 4.5 hours. This is not their domestic Delta One service, to be fair, but there's really only one difference right now in Delta between domestic Delta One and domestic first class, so the level of service otherwise is going to be the same as what you'd receive on their domestic Delta One on their 757 from here to JFK or JFK to LA, for instance. Beautiful morning here in the lounge. It's pretty slow. I'm going to try and get some food here and relax a little bit before we get up in the air. The food area is still being well stocked in Delta Sky Clubs with individually packaged items, although no prepared hot options were available. You can get all the Biscoff your heart desires. You can unwrap and toast your own bread items as well.
Good morning. Nothing is more important than everyone's safety and well-being. Please keep your face masks on while enjoying the club. Thank you.
Overall, this was a decent breakfast spread and a nice seat to enjoy it in. So, I don't want to give away too much of what to expect on board, but as you can see, I am loaded up here on some food so that we get good and full here on land. I had a good view of today's A330 waiting for me across the tarmac at the remote S concourse. It was nice to see some other comings and goings as well as the light came up on this early morning. Had a nice breakfast there, watching my airplane right across the way next to the Hawaiian A330. So we're going to head on over now to the satellite terminal and get on over to the plane. Right next door was this beautiful Hawaiian A330 as well. A nice view since I couldn't see my plane very well from the gate. That Delta Sky Club is a beautiful place, definitely a nice facility. I know the American Express Centurion Lounge is expanding here in Seattle eventually, but for now, if you're flying with Delta here through Seattle, that is a really nice perk of being able to come through and available to me as an American Express Platinum card holder. So really enjoyed my stop through there today. The gate area itself was fairly crowded and frantic, given that the surroundings were under construction in Concourse S. Those flying in first class were given the option to board first, which I did and turned left as I entered the aircraft.
Okay, you know where you're going? 3A. 3A? Okay, right in here.
Otherwise, the aircraft was loaded from rear to front, but since I was sitting forward of the boarding door, I took the extra time to get comfortable and check out my seat on today's flight. We were furnished with individual sanitizing wipes, so I took the time to clean the touch points of my seat, even though the plane has been thoroughly cleaned overnight before our flight under Delta's new Delta Care standard. Still, providing individual wipes is nice for peace of mind. It's a very nice Cirrus business class seat. And and Delta has been flying some of their Delta One Suite enabled aircraft on this route, including the A350 and the A330neo. But today, in their legacy Delta One product, which some people really like, apart from the closing door, it's nice and spacious, so I think I'm going to be very comfortable for this ride.
This is Delta Flight 1318 with service to Atlanta. My name is Nani, your flight leader today.
4 hours and 7 minutes worth of flight time. Looks like a beautiful day to fly, and we're expecting that the ride should be good all the way to Atlanta.
We're pleased to offer complimentary snack bag, including a bottle of water, snacks, and a hand sanitizer. Please note that any alcohol brought on board should not be consumed during the flight. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the Delta hospitality.
After taking in the Cascades mountain range on our climb out, let's have a look at today's seat in this reverse herringbone 1-2-1 configuration. This Cirrus series seat features a fold-away screen and feels more open than the similar Super Diamond seat used on competing aircraft. Next to the storage shelf, you will find a universal power outlet, as well as USB and a headphone input. The red, white, and blue Delta One branding looks sharp with the cross-stitching. Thankfully, you will find overhead individual air as well, and plenty of overhead baggage bins. On other Cirrus seats, you will find storage compartments in the area here, but not on Delta. Really, the only storage on the seat is this contoured bin at your feet. Other designs have more storage inboard of your legs as well, but on this seat, just an airline literature pocket. So storage really is the biggest drawback of this particular seat in Delta's fleet. Since the A330 is a bit narrower than, say, the 777, the foot cubby area felt tight as well. In front of you is a tethered remote for the entertainment system, as well as the seat controls, and a button which releases the display, which we'll explore in depth a little later. As for amenities, today's seat did include these Delta Studio over-ear headphones. If this had been the true business class Delta One domestic service, we would have received their Weston day bedding and pillow set as well. Amenity kits, however, have been cut from all domestic premium services. Otherwise, as we look at the rest of the service for today's flight, everything would still be identical in Delta One. Delta has done some great things to get flyers back in the skies during the pandemic, but the area they have most cut back on is definitely service. Rather than elaborate hot meal presentations with warm towels, hot nuts, your choice of entrees and dessert, here at first we were presented with the choice of sealed, shelf-stable snack packages, identical to what they used to offer as buy on board in economy, but now exclusively available in first and complimentary. This chips and salsa pack seemed like the lightest option of the bunch, so I went with that, only to be informed that they had run out of salsa, and that had been substituted with, well, nothing. We were also provided with a large Dasani water bottle. So let's unpack this box and see what we have. Inside you will find almonds, a chocolate, rice cakes, tortilla chips with no dip, and chocolate chip cookies. And I said this was the lightest option? Here's the salami and cheese plate for my connecting flight, so you can see what I mean. Delta serves these snack boxes on all flights over 900 miles, but even on this over 2,000 mile flight, this was all you got, which is quite limiting, so make sure to eat real food before you board or bring it on board with you. While this will fill you up for a while, it's definitely junk food. As for drinks, your choices in first are water, beer, and wine. Not soft drinks, beer and wine, just water, beer, and wine. No ice, no coffee, no tea, just water, beer, and wine. This early morning, I stuck with water. I also brought on board a pre-wrapped sandwich from the lounge and a bottle of apple juice I picked up in the terminal to help get through today's flight. So let's take a better look now at the entertainment system. Use of the remote is optional, as this is a touch-enabled screen, And while it isn't the sharpest or most modern display, it is fairly large and well positioned when deployed. I had on a tracker map, but the background was all gray, which I suspect is not by design. I have found on all my recent flights now that the onboard movie selection is quite limited, a side effect of no new releases and too much time at home to watch what has come out. No doubt, this is a full-featured entertainment product, I just couldn't find anything to watch on it today. In the center of the cabin, you will also find a full-time display rotating the map with the flight stats. Delta does offer mobile connectivity on board this aircraft as well, including free Wi-Fi for T-Mobile customers. I didn't pay for Wi-Fi today, but I did take advantage of the free text messaging Delta offers, which I think is a nice way to have basic in-air communications that uses very little bandwidth for the carrier. I suppose, just in case there's a screen that breaks down, the streaming service on board included all of 2 movie titles, but I can't really think of any other reason you would elect to watch them. I took off my own Bose headphones, decided I would see how the Delta Studio cans would compare, and, well, not great. They are comfortable, and it's a nice option if you don't have anything else, but they went right back on their hanger. My Bose noise-canceling headsets went right back on. The lavatory on board was nothing too special, although it did have a lotion dispenser. Upon returning to my seat, I was presented with a sealed baggie of 2 snacks, a small water bottle, napkin, and individual sanitizer. This is the only service that would have been presented in economy for this over 4-hour flight. So why are people flying Delta? Let's talk about my booking today and discuss. For today's flight, I parted with 38,000 Sky Miles, including an onward connection, rather than part with cash, with redemption options so limited currently. As you'll see here, prices for Delta's domestic business class Delta One product were similar, however I needed to end up in Newark today instead of JFK for my return. And I wanted to stay in the solo seat on a wide body, so I stuck with connecting through Atlanta. So let's talk about the Delta Care Standard. As with many airlines, Delta is cleaning each aircraft between flights thoroughly, and their mainline aircraft are all HEPA filter equipped. Boarding is done from back to the front of the aircraft, and they're offering pre-packaged snack service to economy passengers. That's all pretty much standard at the moment. So the main thing Delta has done is seat blocking. Now guaranteed through at least early January of 2021, Delta is blocking many middle seats in coach, except for those intended for families that are traveling together, as well as blocking seats in first class and in the Delta One 757 aircraft that feature 2 lie-flat diamond seating. Other Delta One aircraft are going to be booked at full capacity. So despite the very low levels of service, many flyers are going in all classes with Delta to have the peace of mind of the extra space of a blocked neighboring seat. Now back to my flight today, as our journey across the country is coming to a close as we get close to Atlanta and our descent begins. Stay till the end for my closing thoughts on this flight.
Seatbelt sign on at this time. There's some thunderstorms in the area. Weather in Atlanta is cloudy skies with some light rain and winds from the west. From the east, we will be landing east. And with the flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival. Current temperature of 24 Celsius, about 76 degrees Fahrenheit.
Alright, we made it to Atlanta. It was nice to get up there in the air in a wide body again in a lie-flat seat. Overall, my thoughts on Delta are hard product-wise. That was a nice seat. Wasn't the nicest reverse herringbone that I've been in, but it was certainly suitable for the flight I took today, even though it's obviously designed for long haul. Soft product-wise, Delta is definitely cutting costs and keeping things low. Getting just an economy snack box for a 4-hour flight, that's a pretty low level of service, so definitely lose some points there, but that's a comfortable way to get around. It's nice to have the seats blocked across the aisle from you. and they're in the back of the plane in economy to have blocked middle seats. So that'd be a comfortable way to, under the circumstances, go if you had to be in the back of a plane, as most of us are most of the time, including myself. But overall, I enjoyed that flight, and we're going to head off now into Atlanta Airport. Thank you. This is the first of my series for the 2020 Transcontinental Challenge, so be on the lookout for more, and I will do a comparison wrap-up video and rank my experiences after all 4 flights have been published. So come back and join us next week as we try out United Polaris. See you then. In the meantime, please remember to like, comment, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be made aware first when more content is available. As always, thanks for watching.